manager, and I worked for IBM for 5 years. And then I had my first son, Patrick, and I was going to go back to work, and I got pregnant like 6 months later. And that's when I had this little one here, Andrea. So I had two
the best mistake you ever had.
Yeah. So fast that, you know, I really, back in the 80s, it was like full-time work or stay at home. You know, I didn't have an option of the part-time programmer. So I decided to stay home. So over the next 20 years, I had my other daughter, Amy, and I raised them always kind of looking for something to fill the void. I love being a stay-at-home mom, but something was missing, kind of like what this void fills for a lot of you, and the extra income. So I did a lot of different part-time jobs, but they weren't that fulfilling. And then when I was like 53 or 4, my son actually had us all, he ordered P90X. He was a CPA. He ordered P90X, and he had one of his college lacrosse roommates reach out to him, and they said, you know, there's really a business to this, a team, and he missed having a college team. So the first thing he did was, and what they said was, all you have to do is get to Emerald, sign up 2 people. That's all they told him. No other training. That's what they told him. So he immediately had all of us come. We all worked out with him. We did P90X core synergistics. He got up, he put his computer up, and he said, Mom, you're going to be my coach. And I go, okay, I'm your mother. I'll do whatever you want. I don't know what it is, but you know, I'm all in. And then he said, okay, you need to get to Emerald. And I go, what's that? And he goes, you have to sign up 2 people. I'm like, okay, that's easy. Pete, you're a coach. My husband, turned to him. I got my sister to sign up, and then I told them to do the same, and they just did the same. And then once Andrea started, she did the same. So I've been working this business for 8 years. There's really nothing more complicated in this business than signing, you know, getting a challenger, signing a coach, and getting one on each leg, and starting your effort of you earn by your team effort. And so over the next 8 years, I've slowly been growing a team, Andrea included, and everyone. And I have like over 4,000 coaches on a team, and I earned $175,000 this year. So, you know, and it just keeps going. And it's not me. It's not 100% my effort. It's the effort of the team. So it's Andrea, it's all of you, everyone that brings in people, you get a little piece of that. So this business is crazy. It's just, the sky's the limit. We say, go to the moon with this business, and you really can. It's just a matter of your mindset, following, you know, duplicating and getting your coaches to do the same thing. It's not rocket science. We want to keep it very simple and duplicatable. And I'm thrilled that my 2 daughters are followed and are working this business. So they were able to stay home with their kids, have a very fulfilling job working this team, and then passing it on to all of you. And also our income is residual, and it's also, you can pass it on in your will even. You know, it's a legacy. It doesn't stop, you know, so it's like crazy.
That's pretty inspiring. So that's why I wanted her to share. I had to call her, guys, to have her share. She was like, no. I'm like, you're 55 years old. You taught this very simple, duplicatable system. And we call her like the master of Team Boom, because it's really no harder than getting to Emerald and then helping your team do that exact same thing. And once you kind of focus it that way, then it just becomes so much more easy. Not, you don't have to sponsor the world, but your team is helping you build your team too. So what we're going to do.
And wait, well, just one other thing. I only have like less than 20 personally sponsored coaches. So it's not like I didn't get in early enough. It has nothing to do with that. It's like building a team, and it's in that simple duplication creates this huge team, and you get a little piece of it, like 5%. So it's not like you have to have 100 coaches personally sponsored by you.
Right. And my mom always tells me, like, every day, she's like, you're literally living my dream job. Like, to be able to stay home with your kids, to be able to, like, your like, she's like, I used to drag you to the gym, work out, like, do all the same things that I'm doing. I just never was able to have like a business out of it. And so she's always like, it's such a blessing to be able to give it to other people. And so thank you for inviting me, Mom, even though
You're welcome. Thank you for kicking ass.
Yeah, and I remember as a new coach, I was very nervous to sign my new coach. Her name was Marilyn, and she was from Canada. I never talked to her. I met her on social media. She was one of my first people, and my mom was like, just ask her. Ask her if she wants to be a coach. And she was like, oh yeah, sure. But before that, my mom was like, get to Emerald. So the first thing that I did was I signed up my husband and I signed up my cousin, and that's what got me to Emerald. And then before I signed up my husband, I actually signed up my father-in-law. And so he's been a coach. So your coach doesn't have to technically always be doing the coaching side of things. It can be a discount coach too. So just be thinking of, I call it your wedding list of people in your warm market that you feel would want to do this or help you or support you. And then we're going to go over this little guide with you guys. Hold on. And if you guys have heard this, or you are an Emerald, or now I want you guys to think of this as you're a teacher. You're now teaching your coaches how to do that, right? Being comfortable with doing this and talking about it. And that's kind of what this business is about, is just teaching other people kind of how you got started with, jump starting to get to Emerald. Okay, so I'm going to share this.
Okay. And we run these calls every other week, so you can just plug your people in.
Yep. Okay, so this is basically what an Emerald coach is. You're going to hear this is when you first become a coach, you are an active coach. So that means you're only into the first earning potential, which is you get 25% off all your products, and then you also can earn 25% on anything that you sell or that somebody buys from you. So this business is not about sales. And I always say that because people are like, you must sell a lot of stuff. I do not sell a ton of stuff at all. I honestly help 3 to 5 people every month with a challenge pack. So if I was to rely just on my sales to create a big income, I wouldn't go far at all. So that's where we talk a lot about Emerald, and that unlocks the second way to earn, which is you basically, the easiest way to describe it is you get a 5% bonus off of anything that your coaches do or anything that their people that they bring in or any of the, their customers are ordering. So in the beginning, my 5% was really small because it was my husband and my father-in-law. So my mom was find, get to Emerald, and then it unlocks that team cycling way, and then basically try to find 5 other, we call them 5 other leaders in your downline to get started. So you plus 2, so it's basically you are a coach yourself, which I'm sure everybody signed up with a challenge pack. They have their Beachbody on demand, they're ordering their Shakeology. That's kind of how everybody comes in. And then when you get to Emerald, you're basically doing that exact same thing that you did to get in. You're just doing it with 2 people. So it could be your mom and your cousin, or your husband and your best friend, So make a list, and don't be afraid to ask somebody, because honestly, how much would it suck if you found out that your best friend that you think could really do this business signed up with somebody else? Because it happens all the time. Trust me, people they want to be asked to do this. They don't know that you're looking for people. So you might as well ask. The worst that can happen is they say no, they start to, follow you, see what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you're asking them to join your team and do this together. And then you're also helping them jumpstart their fitness journey too. Do you have anything to add right there, Mom?
Yeah, basically, don't be afraid to ask people and ask them to help you. Say and share your passion for this business, and that you need their help to get your business started. But along the way, you're going to help them, because you're going to help them get more healthy. But there's a couple of things, so when you you probably came in with a challenge pack, but if you sign up a couple of people that aren't going to work the business right away, which is usually your mom, your dad, think of your aunt, somebody, you only need 50 PV. 50 PV is to be active. And if you go to your Team Beachbody account, you can look at all the products and click the details, and it tells you the PV value. So they don't have to have Shakeology. Like, there's also this thing called U+2 with a credit card. You're allowed to sign up 2 people with your credit card, and in one, it can be a parent, a spouse, or a child that's at least 18 years old. So if you had like your mother and she really has no interest in the business, you could give her a share card, sign her up as a coach, and you could buy your Energize off it, you know, or something that equals 50 PV. So it doesn't have to be Shakeology. So think of that. And also say then you sign your spouse up. And if you sign up your significant other, you want to ask your upline, which is your weak leg? Because your team is helping you build one leg and the other leg is probably your weak leg, and that's where you want to put your spouse. So ask your coach to help you. If you're going to sign up your spouse, you want to put them on your weak leg. Make sure you set your preferred placement. Just ask them what that is. They can just do like quickly explain it to you, and then you'll place the coach there. And then you'd switch your preferred placement, and then you would sign up your other coach, like your mother or somebody like that. And also another thing, so you only need that 50 PV, and you also, to be active, a coach is whatever their customer buys plus whatever they buy, as long as it's 50 PV, either or, they're active. So you might have a customer that you could actually give to your spouse, and if they buy a product, that could keep them active so that you don't have to buy something. It's just a little strategy for if you're signing up 2 people. But you want to open up the second way to earn, because you start accumulating points for team cycling the minute you become an Emerald. And it is a little more, but I mean, who runs a business for $17 a month? So even if you have to pay for 2 other people, because, you know, with your credit card, I mean, just think if you were opening up a McDonald's franchise, that's like $250,000. The potential with this business is crazy. Don't limit yourself with that small stuff. It's like, open up your second way to earn, get it going, start accumulating, and then you'll learn. It's like do, then learn. Just do it and then learn, and then you'll understand team cycling down the road.
This business is a lot different than like going to college. Like I went to college 4 years to be a teacher, and then I got out 4 years, and then I started teaching. This business is you learn as you go. So within the first like 30 days of you being in this group and then being in a challenge group, that's how you learn what this business is and how to, you know, sign somebody up. Once you get to Emerald, you're like, oh, that's how you get to Emerald. Then you help your one of your coaches get to Emerald. Then you learn as you go in this business. It's not like you obtain all this info for 4 years and then you can start earning. You can earn immediately. And that's kind of the cool thing.
One other thing I forgot is military. A lot of people don't realize that a military, if they're active military, you can sign up the military person or their spouse, and they just fill out a form after they sign up, like with a challenge pack, and then they never have to pay the coach fee, the monthly coach fee. So that's huge. Or if they're a veteran, it must be the veteran that you sign up, but then they're not going to pay that $17 a month. So that's something to keep in mind also.
Yeah, that's really awesome for the military. Okay, so we went over how to get there. So why hit Emerald? You can open up that, like she just talked about, you can open up that second way to start earning, which 99% of my mom's paycheck comes from that second way of earning, by that Emerald way. Once you become Emerald, you can start to accumulate the volume. It's a stepping stone. So this is like the first, like, you're an Emerald, and not only do you get recognized on your coach page, that you're now working the business, but also Beachbody recognizes you as a coach who's an Emerald coach that's actively working the business. So to them, the corporate Beachbody is like, okay, I'm just gonna grab, like, Amanda, she just became an Emerald, so we are going to, if Amanda helps 3 people in the month of February, we are going to give her customer leads. And this can be really huge. So customer leads are all the people that are going on Beachbody and Team Beachbody and buying product, Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand, and anybody who's an Emerald coach and hit what we call Success Club, you're helping 3 people a month with a challenge pack. Beachbody gives you that customer. So over time, I've actively gained tons and thousands of coaches or customers from Beachbody. So I can email them, and I actually just signed up a coach who was a customer who I just emailed and told her she could get a discount on her Shakeology. So that's kind of cool that they give you that, because they're like, this person's working their business. You're starting to build a team. It gives you credibility. When you're an Emerald and you hit Success Club, so you're helping 3 people a month, there's this thing called the Success Club trip. So this year we're going on a cruise to Haiti and I forgot where else. Haiti and somewhere. Bahamas. And for helping people, 3 people a month, 3 to 5 people a month, I can go for free and bring my husband. So we're going on this all paid for inclusive trip on this cruise in March. And then next year it's Punta Cana. So you can earn that trip for your family. So you can bring, you get one spouse, and then some people bring their kids, and you can bring whoever you want. So that's another really cool thing. So
just to hit on that, just to touch on that one more time, is that Success Club is huge. Like, the first thing you do, you sign up as a coach, you ASAP, you get yourself to Emerald, and then you're working on your warm market first, and then you're using either Instagram or Facebook, and you're sharing your story, inviting people, getting more eyes on your journey, and then you're shooting for Success Club every month. And to get those 3 to 5 people, you can see how you're going to grow your business. So either they come in as coaches right off the bat, or they start out as challengers, and then they get the results, and then they fall in love with the system, and then they want to do what you're doing. You sign them up as a coach, you plug them in, get them to Emerald, and basically that's all there is to this business. So if you hit that benchmark every month, you're going to be growing your business. You're planting seeds, and over time, we say basically like 3 to 5 years, you could be having a 6-figure income. Some people do it faster because they're going at a faster pace. Some people go a little slower, but within that time, you should be, that's a very feasible goal.
Cool. Yeah, and don't ever discount anybody. Like, I've signed so many coaches that were just a discount for a couple months, and then all of a sudden they're like following me on social media, and they're like, I'm doing this business. Like, I'm going to do this with you. Like Melissa, who's on this call, she was actually a discount coach for a while, and then was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm going to do this business now. So there, you could come in as a discount. They could come in as a discount coach, like we call that, but then they could all of a sudden be like, I want to start to earn a little bit. I want to help people. I want to build a team. So it doesn't really matter.
What do you say, Andrea? Every time she goes on a Success Club trip, she signs coaches, because they're watching you. They're planning. They're working on their own journey. They don't want to do what you're doing. They don't get results. They see you having results. You're earning money. You're going on trips. All of a sudden it's like, all right, I'm in, but you don't know when that is. It can be a year, so right. That's why you have to show up.
Yeah. The consistency of, showing up on your Instagram stories and posting, 2 to 3 times a week. That's huge, because the whole point of this business is to build trust with people, that you believe in yourself, because you're doing this with or without them. You're still going to do this. You're getting results. You're having a great time. You're helping people, and they see that you keep showing up and you're consistent. And that's where they start to see you as a leader, that somebody that they would be like, okay, if I join their challenge group, like, she's not going to ghost me. Like, she's going to be there. She's going to show up, so that's why the consistency is so important in this business. And if one of the biggest things that my new coaches will say is like, well, I don't know how to run a challenge group, or I don't know what to say. It's like, we do this together. Like, what is this saying? I do, we do, you do. So I have all my new coaches just add their new people. If you sign a coach or your mom or somebody, you put them in our challenge group, and we do this together. And that's kind of the beauty of this business, is like, you're not ever alone. You have to kind of do your own consistency and show up and invite, but you could pop somebody on this call and have us, explain it, or get them in the challenge group. So that's kind of the beauty of the business, is you do it together.
And the coach sneak peeks and the challenge.
Yeah. Okay. So let's
And make sure you stay till the end because we have a special guest that's going to share, like she was on our first call and how she took action.
Okay. So I'm not going to really go into that because it doesn't.
Well, just show them the picture.
Okay. So basically this person so you're the diamond, right? And then you personally sponsored this yellow person, which is on your weak leg. That would be your spouse. Like my husband is the first person I put on my weak leg because it's a controlled business center that I can control. I control my husband's kidding. I don't control him. But I can buy product off of his account. Like he doesn't actively work he does drink Shakeology, Energize, so I can buy stuff off of that account to keep it active. But as you grow your team, you can see like this person, let's just say, for example, I sponsored my cousin Susie. She sponsored her cousin Sally. And then let's say Sally was like, I have like my best friend Vanessa like wants to do this business. So I'm like, sign her up. So then she signs her up on her, over here. And then maybe Vanessa has somebody that wants to do it. And then they're signed up, she signs them up. So you can see like the business will gradually grow as you're doing your vitals. And then you're finding 5 people that also want to do the business with you. And so let's just say they signed up 2 coaches and then that turns to 4, 8, 16, 32. I'm really bad at math. 34, 64. Like it's
so the main thing is that you're going to reach so many people that you don't know. Like Andrea said, if you sign up Mary and Mary signs up her husband Bob, like you don't know Bob, you don't know her mother, you don't know all these people, but you get a little piece of all that action. And where it comes from actually is it's human beings. Every one of these people are human beings consuming product. Every product has a PV value. So that's a number. So when people post in your coach group, that's all it is the PV they brought in. It's whatever they sold to their customers or whatever they bought themselves. And then they sign a coach up and they have to put them on your left or right leg below you. And then whatever that person buys is a product and it has a value. Like Shakeology is 90 points. Everybody probably knows that. Energize is like 37 points. So you can see if you have coaches that are working the business, they're going to bring in a lot more points because they're going to sell a lot of stuff to challengers or to challenge packs and to customers. And then they're going to convert them to coaches. And then they're going to try to get their coaches to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's all these people working the business, but it's not you. Like Andrea said, you have like 3 to 5 that work the business and then they just blow up your volume. And it's just human beings consuming product.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
And that's the cool thing. It's like I'll have my coaches go into their graphical genealogy and they won't have sponsored a couple of the girls, but they'll be like, who's Melissa and who's Sarah? And I'm like, well, they're not personally sponsored by you, but I brought them in and they're going to benefit you too. And that's kind of the team effort of this business. And that's why it's so awesome because you're not just doing everything by yourself. You are working as a team. You want your team to be successful. Anybody that you bring in, you want them to be successful. You want to that's why we give everybody so much. We're like, here, use this, because we want people to be successful. Whereas if you're in another corporate, sometimes it's like, a lot of times it's just you working. You're not working as like a huge team. And that's why you can see like some of the girls on our team will go off, they'll make their own team. So it's really, really cool. Like the lives that you can touch and the people you meet by the people that, your team is bringing in.
So just show them quick those numbers, just quick, the other way. Yeah, the more you want everyone to be successful because it all benefits you also, and you want your coaches to earn income and stay. Oh, what happened? You can't go down?
No, I think it's up. Sorry.
Is it the other way?
It's like flip them around.
Oh. Yeah, just quickly. If you ever go into your Coach Online office to monitor your business, you can go over and see your team volume. And it's under, it's under compensation, I think. And you'll have a left and a right leg. And that's all that is. Those coaches that were on that left leg, they're all bringing in every week. They just are consuming product And if your coach buys Shakeology that week, it's 90 points. So they just accumulate it up. We're not going to get into this today, but it's just, that's all it is. And then there's a formula with it. And you can figure that out later, but that's what it's all about.
Should I have Ashley share first, or should I go over this?
Why don't you just do this really quick and then have Ashley share?
So everything in this business is action. So, I see a lot of coaches will like watch. But if you're not taking action, then it's, that's one of the most important things is doing that. So I just want to leave you guys a little bit of homework. So the action plan, I'm a teacher, so I'm like, here's your homework. So sign up a controlled business center. So that's the number one thing that everybody should be thinking about. Who can I have that will help me with this business? And if it's your spouse, like hands down, that's the person that you said sign up first as your controlled business center. And you can ask your coach, which leg is my weak leg, so I can sign up. Where should I put my husband? Or your partner or your mom. Number 2 is make a warm market hot list. So I call this like your wedding list. So just like my mom's like 1 of 6, and she like literally reached out to all 6 of her siblings and took them. And then, or, your hot list would be like, who would you invite to your wedding? Who do you think that could benefit from this challenge group? Who do you think that could benefit from being on this team? Think of your college friends. Think of like the moms around you. Think of coworkers. Think of, your warm market. That's kind of where you're going to start with this business. And then slowly you'll move into like what we call your cold market.
And one point to that, don't make the decision for them. Like in your mind, don't go, oh, they won't want to do this. Because you don't know if they want to do it or not. Like, don't make that decision. Ask them and explain it to them.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I've literally missed the chance to invited people a couple of days late, and they become like elite coaches. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of people that were like, oh, I already signed up with this person when I first started, because I was just too scared for myself to do it. And I'm like, kick myself now that I didn't do that. So just reach out to them in the best way that you could do. Maybe you call them, maybe you text them. Pick up the phone and just say, hey, I'm doing this amazing challenge group. I feel awesome. I'm working out 20 minutes at home. It's, you streamline your workouts. You could do this challenge group with me. Like, what do you say? Like, it doesn't have to be this drawn out big thing, but invite them to do it, because you would have never have known about this opportunity if your coach didn't invite you. And I always say that when I'm like thinking about, oh, I don't want to invite that person. I'm like, no, because if my coach didn't invite me, I wouldn't have known about these challenge groups. I wouldn't have been able to stay home with my kids. Like, this whole community nobody knows about unless you reach out and you just ask them. So just kind of get over that and just do it. Be the coach you crave. So, show up in your challenge group, text your coaches, show up in the groups, stuff like that. And then number 5 is belief, which we're going to talk a ton about in this group, is mindset and belief in yourself. Because belief is not something that you just automatically, some people come in with it and they just have it, but some people you have to work at it. And that's why we have these groups. We talk a ton about personal development, building your confidence, because that's kind of where you're going to get it. Is from growing it, just like your workouts and stuff like that. Okay, so that's your action plan. And then in the group, we'll have you guys just come up with your list. I don't care if it's pen and paper, whatever it is, come up with your warm market of people that you feel like you can ask.